IEC introduces the ReStoraMOD. ReStoraMOD allows replacement of aging high-rise fan coils without having to wait for a whole room renovation project. IEC's ReStoraMOD installation was designed to be fast and minimally invasive. It installs within an existing high-rise unit with the internal components removed. This video will show step-by-step procedures for completely replacing existing high-rise fan coil units with the ReStoraMOD without bringing in multiple contractors, closing entire floors, or turning your property into a construction zone. Protection of the contents of an existing room is a very important first step in the procedure. Cover furniture and exposed fixtures with protective cloths or plastic sheets to ensure that any debris that is generated will not fall on the furniture. Clear the area around the existing unit. After all necessary furniture is moved and covered, you will begin by turning off the power to the unit at the service panel. There may be multiple power sources to the unit. Check to ensure there is no voltage to the unit and install lockout tagout tags. Next, remove the return air panel and supply grill and set them aside out of your way. Remove the return air block-off panel if present in your installation. Remove the blower assembly and set it aside out of the way. After the blower assembly is removed, close off the isolation valves. Depress the air vent to relieve any pressure in the coil. Use caution, the water may be hot. Next, begin to remove the coil, starting with the side coil baffle. Once the side baffle is removed, use your copper tube cutter to cut the supply lines just to the inside of the isolation valves, leaving about a 2-inch stub to be able to accommodate the hose adapter later in the process. Remove the coil. It may be necessary to make additional cuts or bends in the valve piping to help in the removal process. Remove the screws holding the coil to the top coil bracket. The coil should be loose enough to move to one side and remove it and set it aside. The next step is to measure and cut the drywall around the opening. Measure from the inside to determine the edge depth and make your appropriate marks on the outside of the opening. Take your level and mark the line all the way to the floor to cut the drywall and trim. Mark the cutout completely around the enclosure before making the cuts. Score and then cut with the utility knife the drywall all the way around the opening. Then remove the cutout pieces of drywall and set them aside out of the way. The wall panel on the new unit reaches all the way to the floor, so any base trim such as carpet, border, or wooden baseboard must also be cut out all the way to the floor. When drywall removal is complete, you are ready to begin removing the internal cabinet pieces. Remove the screws securing the plenum front. The top screws are inaccessible, so use the nibbler to finish removal of the panel. Using the reciprocating saw or hammer and chisel, remove the upper coil bracket and the blower deck. Screws hold the blower deck to the side panels and must either be cut or sheared to allow for removal. After cutting the side screws, remove the underside screws to turn the blower bracket sideways for removal. Remove the bracket and set aside out of the way. Next is to remove the drain pan. The pan is at the lower part of the cabinet, and the reciprocating saw will not fit in this area so close to the floor. So a hammer and chisel is used to shear the fastening screws holding the drain pan to the panel. Disconnect the PTrap from the drain riser stub. Remove the drain pan and PTrap assembly and set aside. Now that all internal components have been removed, we will begin to trim the edges of the existing cabinet. Using the nibbler, begin to trim off the edges of the existing internal cabinet. After completing the metal trimming, remove all the scrap from inside the cabinet. Unless the inside insulation is moist or has mold, it is best to leave the existing insulation in place. The ReStoraMOD is designed to fit within the existing insulated cabinet. Use your shop vac to clean out the inside of the existing cabinet before continuing with the installation. With the demolition now complete, we can begin the ReStoraMOD installation. To dispose of the scrap generated in the demolition process, IEC recommends recycling all of the copper, aluminum, and steel components cut from the original unit. Recycling will not only reduce disposal costs, but also contribute to a healthier planet. In order to install the stainless steel braided hoses that come with the new unit, we will install sweat-by-thread adapters onto the existing copper studs using ordinary soldering techniques. After appropriate cooling time, you are ready to install the unit. We reduced the time spent in the guest room by unwrapping the new unit on the loading dock in the maintenance area and checking for damage and/or missing accessories. Further, we pre-assembled this unit by placing the painted frame and wall panel on the unit before moving it into the guest room. We are able to easily transport the pre-assembled unit within the hotel by placing it on a standard furniture dolly. This is recommended because the new units are usually taller than a standard door frame, but will fit in most service elevators lying down. After moving the new unit into the room, stand it up close to the existing opening. Notice the cutout on the back of the unit. This cutout is to accommodate the existing riser pipes. Each ReStoraMOD is ordered for the existing riser pipe location, right, left, or rear. Turn the unit around and position it to slide into the existing opening. Remove the return air block off and the control cover before proceeding. Next, route the power wiring to the service switch. There are knockouts on the service switch box in the unit and also on the outside of the cabinet. Cut an X with the utility knife in the back panel to allow the pipe stubs to come through into the unit. In the event that the pipe stubs are on the side of the unit rather than the back, you will need to remove the side cover plate. Slide the unit into the existing opening. Once the unit is in place, you will want to place a few long self-tapping sheet metal screws through the new cabinet into the old cabinet. Make these attachments in the corner and not in the back of the unit to avoid hitting the risers. Once the unit is secure, take the factory-supplied insulation piece and slide it over the riser stubs. To seal it, peel off the backing and place it against the back of the cabinet with the stubs coming through. Connect the steel braided hoses. The hoses should be tightened to 350 inch-pounds. There is a reminder label just inside the unit for this critical adjustment. Next, connect the rubber PTrap to the drain riser stub out. The PTrap is pre-installed by IEC on the drain pan. After connecting the PTrap, purge the air from the coil and check for leaks. In this installation, the thermostat was relocated from the front to the side. However, we could have ordered a ReStoraMOD with a surface-mounted thermostat above the return air panel, or unit mounting behind an access door. In any case, route the thermostat wire into the control box to the Quick Connect plug. After the isolation valves are opened and the coil purged, you are ready to reconnect power and verify the proper operation of the unit's functions. Install the return air block-off and control cover. Then install the return air panel and the installation is complete. After a little cleanup of debris, uncover the furniture and return it to its original place. The room is now operational again. The innovative ReStoraMOD eliminates the need for finish work, and in most cases, the room downtime is limited to between a few hours to 1 day. Contact your IEC representative for more detailed information about this product and features.